Atiku, who was the Atiku Abubakar, who was the vice president of the country back when Obasanjo was the president, and we've seen him running for presidency ever since then, and it's been maybe 2 decades now. He's still been running for president, which I find ridiculous too. Ridiculous is my favorite word, by the way, which I also find ridiculous, right? Atiku has been running for president, running to be the president of Nigeria since 2007 or 2009. I don't know. He's been running. It's decades, and he's still running, and he keeps losing. It's safe to say he's a serial loser, right? He ran in the last election and lost. And why did he lose? Because he ran against Peter Obi, who was once his vice presidential candidate, who also lost, by the way. But now they are taunting the fact that Atiku is offering Peter Obi to be his vice president or vice presidential candidate again in 2027. This is what is on the news. These are not my takes, right? But I'm gonna go to Twitter here. I'm gonna share my screen here for 1 second and read a tweet from this person called Hamless. I think this Hamless is a popular figure in the Nigerian Twitter space. He says Atiku and PDP are now looking for Peter Obi because they know they have zero chances without him. And he goes on to say Peter Obi's votes are still intact, unshaken and untouched. You can't say so for Atiku. Okowa has left him. Speaking about Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State, who was his vice presidential candidate in the past election. Okowa just left him and defected to the APC. By the way, check out my last video. I made a video about that too. Check out my last video on that. Victor Okowa has left him. Wike has left him. Umo Eno has left him. Umo Eno is the governor of Akwa Ibom State. 5G, which was, pretty much the 5 governors, the likes of, I think the governor of, is it Osun State, River State, just five Ekiti, maybe. I don't know. I can't name all of them right now, but pretty much for those 5 governors, they've left him. I don't know. I can't say his name. Obowe Bovye has left him. Bala Muhammad has left him. Fubara has left him. So a lot of his allies have left him, right? And here we're talking about him offering Peter Obi the vice presidential candidate. Why would Peter Obi do that, right? Why would Peter Obi do that? In the last elections, Peter Obi gained over 6 million votes, and you gained maybe 7, 8 million, and the winner ultimately won by maybe 10 million, 12 million, right? Why would Peter Obi want to join forces with you when Peter Obi knows exactly what he brings to the table, right? Peter Obi knows he still has his 6 million votes, but for you, the 8 million or 7 million votes you brought in the last time, you're not sure of those votes anymore, right? Because Peter Obi is becoming a stronger force as the day goes by. He's becoming stronger and stronger and stronger as the days goes by. And you think he's going to join forces with you to do exactly what, though? To do exactly what? That's my question, right? That's my question. I mean, what's he going to do for? What are you going to do for him? I don't know. I think it's, again, ridiculous is my favorite word. I mean, you guys should know at this point, right? But anyway, I think it's ridiculous that Atiku thinks Peter Obi is going to join forces with him in 2027. Peter Obi is out there in the field right now, going from state to state, going from country to country, liaising with people, making connections. The other day, I saw him in the at the Pope's inauguration. I think he was also at the funeral of the late Pope. He's all over the place, liaising with people, making new connections. Just getting bigger by the day goes as the day goes by. Right? He's a politician, obviously, even though he's doing it under the guise of humanitarian services. We know, yeah, he's a good man, right? But still, these things reflect, say a lot about his character. And how he's trying to get those votes. He's actually on the ground getting those votes, talking to these people and trying to get those votes every day. And you, Atiku, you sit in your house at Adamawa or wherever it is you live in, and the next election cycle, you come out again and splash cash, and you think that's the way to go to win an election. Unfortunately, maybe in 2005, maybe that was the way, but in 2025, unfortunately, you have to do it the way Peter Obi is doing it. You have to be with the people every day. You have to tell them what you're going to do. They need to see you for who you really are. They need to see that you're really the man that you say you are. That's what you got to do. I mean, you can't just every election cycle come out and expect people to vote for you because you give them some cash, right? I think that's ridiculous. Again, I think that's ridiculous. But these are my thoughts. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Can Atiku win an election without Peter Obi? I mean, I know both of them ran in, not the last election, but the previous election before these general elections. Um, I know they both ran and they lost, obviously, right? They lost, and that was a learning curve for Peter Obi because he learned a lot how to, get in, how to network with these people, how to liaise with people. He definitely took a lot from that loss, and he turned it into a lesson. And he took whatever he learned and went into the next election cycle, and he brought in 6 million votes. 6 million votes. That's not a small thing to do. That was definitely a big deal. You know, that was definitely a big deal. So he went in, brought in 6 million votes, and now he knows exactly what he needs to do, or what he didn't do right the last time, and what he needs to do now to get the winner. And you're telling him to be your vice. I think it's ridiculous. Any right-thinking person wouldn't do that. I don't think Peter Obi is going to do that anyway. But you guys tell me, can Atiku win an election without Peter Obi? And do you think Peter Obi is going to align with him in 2027, to be the vice presidential candidate? These are my thoughts anyway. I always like to say, these are my thoughts, and you guys let me know what you think. And again, if you've watched up to this point, please feel free to subscribe. It's free. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. And please tell me what you think. Can Atiku win an election without Peter Obi?